to repeat that once more. And JD Gaming really just looking to kind of usher in a new era after a very disappointing year here. But talking a bit more about the compositions, I want to pick your brain on the Jhin pick, because I feel like Jhin is such a polarizing pick. It's like, it's got to really fit the scenario to pick it in a game like this, but that's what Jachi's rocking as we get onto the Rift.
It was something that we saw him play, and it was not the best performance in Demacia Cup, but again, it was a 4-game sample size, one Jhin game. Thing is, we have seen now, one of the most important parts of the patch is that crit damage went up, back from 175% of your damage dealt to 200%. So crit carries, quite happy. Jhin, renowned for having quite large critical strikes. So I think if there was a time for Jhin to be doing a bit more damage than expected, to be able to get through some of the tankier champions, this is it. There is a Malphite, which obviously problematic. So you're hoping that we can have Cream cover up for that and really be the AP DPS. So if there was a Jhin game, this is it. It's fine. I'm not a big lover of Jhin in pro play, but we've seen players like Ruler get it done both in the LPL and the LCK. You can do a lot of damage if you get to late game, and now with 6 item slots, once you complete the ADC quest, yeah, you can restack the AD quite high, actually.
Yeah, I like that point, right? It felt like into this JDG comp, Chachi, no matter what he picked, it was going to be a hard time outside of lane, so the Jhin, a good little number, especially the way he's been able to kind of punish Vampire and Gala, force him to trade a lot of his health econ to contend in this wave, as Top Esports will also have the support of Nayo coming down towards this bot side, so definitely going to keep the pressure up here to the max. And we heard our two casters on the first series talk about it a bit here, Gallum, but the speed that these junglers can just fly through these camps, it really opens up a lot of caution for a lot of these lanes. I wasn't really going to talk about the mid lane, but all right, Hongq, already forcing Cream out of lane early, going to have to expend that teleport.
Not bad. We did get to see in one of the B-roll Hongq clips him bullying TES last year, with Cream being one of the recipients of that damage, so it is something that these players have actually played against each other a handful of times, with Hongq having pretty good performance thus far. It's just the basic starter lane phase, though. At the end of the day, there's 2 level 6 demons in the jungle, as we see Nayo showing himself.
What about level 4 demons fighting over Scuttle Crab? Callum, this is the LPL right here. We fight over Scuttle Crabs. We need to crash down, engage. Flash War for Chachi. Chunja is cut down. First blood secured by Nayo as he tries to make his statement into the jungle first in our big Titan matchup. Top Esports on the board.
Okay, we do see
a bit more. Tangle Barb. There we go. I think Gala should have enough damage and will be able. Vampire picks up that kill. Van Gwen cannot find the trade, and just like that, we're starting the seesaw of our matchup. It's JDG's bottom lane to answer the first blood.
Head in my hands at the end of that one. Yeah, Top Esports had a lead and decided, let's go hard mode. A nice initial play that we got to see coming out there. Nayo really flexing on this Ambessa. I was saying level 6 threats because the Malphite doesn't do a lot until then. He's just a guy. He's not stacked armor.
He's just a rock.
Yeah, like, what do you want him to do here? He can slow some attack speed. Ambessa only needs to get one hit at a time to keep the passive rolling, so it is what it is. And then, let's see what actually happened here to keep this fight elongated. Just the tag from the... Yeah, alright. Just the Barb's tagged, and then a pretty tragic flash at the end here.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was worse the second time. It was worse the second time.
Yeah, I was like, I thought you were talking about the Gala flash into the crash down. Hold on, there's a crash down. All right, Gala, there's a good, nice dodge. Just get away from that engage. Remember everybody, it's first series of the... Oh my god, Hongq. All right. Listen, I saw this at Worlds against BDD, and it did not end well. So let's oh my god. Guys, let's suspend the heart attacks at 5 minutes. It is the first game you're playing on stage, and neither of them are willing to back down at 50 HP. And we're back to the bottom lane immediately. All right, I think things are settling down, but Melvin, you're starting to get the picture of what to expect in the LPL, huh?
Most definitely. And part of the reason that I was saying I'm so excited to be here for this season in particular is because it's such a volatile time to play League of Legends. You know, there's going to be a lot of trading like this. That's standard issue, but
oh my god, the junglers are back. They're not level 6, they're level 5, and they still want to throw down. And there you see exactly what Melvin was talking about, how little impact Malphite can have. Oh, we have top laners. I forgot.
Oh my god, they exist.
We haven't panned up here all game, so I forgot they were here.
Wow, good job, guys. We do have Xiaoshu coming up with a pretty decent CS lead at the start. You know, it's Renekton hours. Kind of what we want to see. We need to see a bit of a lead coming out before the Cassandre hits mega late game, as there is a dive set up here, but there's no minions, so I don't love it.
Yeah, also that's just a level 5 at best. I feel like this is a really forced issue. Now Nayo is getting a little bit cornered. Junja is like hanging around just to make sure his bottom lane doesn't get dove. I feel like there's a decent amount of time being wasted by both these junglers who we talked about kind of have accelerated clears in the new game.
Well, that's the thing. It's not exactly wasted because all the camps were down. And so normally, because everything got sped up by 30 seconds except for the objectives, you finish your second clear, assuming you do 2 basic full clears, standing in front of the Dragon Pit at about 5 minutes. Now, when both bot lanes are alive, you know, a bit of trading in mid, when both bot lanes are alive, you kind of want to influence that to then be safe to go up to the Dragon. So I think we're seeing what will be a trend throughout the year of both junglers kind of just trying to overforce a play bot lane, because they know, I can't start Dragon, it's a Malphite, but you could still walk at me and hit me on the thing. It's an Ambessa, I can't walk at there as Junjia, so it's like, what do? You kind of just sat around with not much to force, especially if you're a level 6 jungler who now, we have both of them online. A lot of engage potential has just appeared in pretty much anywhere that we see them walk. So I think this first dragon fight, as we see expected, Nayo immediately right-clicking in that direction.
Yep. I like this, though, too. I don't know how much info they have on where Junja went with his clear, but he has a lot of camps to clear top down. So nice little window found for Nayo. Again, really want to emphasize how a year ago today, Nayo was not a starting jungler in the LPL, and now he's commanding a lot of the leadership duty on this top esports roster, a much younger roster than it ever was last year, with no Jackie Love, no Kadavi. It's a much fresher bottom lane, and Nayo already showing in little spurts that he's willing to step up and make the calls, gets that dragon for free. That's a nice feeling for top esports.
And it's always easier to take a player who wants to force the ticket and wind them back in to get some level of responsibility, some level of kind of respect, than go the other way. So I'm glad that we're seeing Nayo actually trying to get the tempo going, because one of the things we've seen pretty much from the limited sample size of the season so far is you accelerate so quickly as these quests go through, as you accumulate those wins.
Here we go, that teamfight threat. Vampire gets the flash out of Jachi. That's a nice trade you'll take if you're Vampire.
Yep, I think Junjia would like to know your location, Mr. Jin, and it's really just going to be a case of now having to play super respectfully. So we do actually have both junglers hovering around mid. This crystalline overgrowth, Honky really needs to proc
Cream gets hit by the shockwave. Junja, Soppel force, he's gonna chase over the wall. He sees Nayo flashes on top of Cream's head and deletes him. He's not a rock anymore, he's a boulder throwing down. Poking execution from Nayo gets him back under turret. Handy use of that Ambessa ult, but man, Junja, what a statement for his first kill in the LPL.
Much better than the Malphite ults I saw from him in the Demacia Cup. That is encouraging that he has got the hang of flying like a lunatic. And it should pretty reasonably convert into a grub start. We do have, just checking, that is Vampire. Always got to verify when you see an icon on the minimap which person it actually is when Nico's in the game. Currently just the one secured by the looks of it. There's no more feats of warfare, so while grubs are quite important just because of how much gold you can drain from hitting towers, it's not one of those super high priority things, especially with wanting to be in lane to accumulate those stacks. I'll be honest, we could just let this play in the background because it was just good use of ultimates. Honky winning out the lane phase again, and Junjia, perfect, lockdown, easy peasy. And I think that the fact that you have to burn the Ambessa ult there really does mean that TES can't force something proactively in the meantime. You would want to go hunting for Junjia, knowing that there's no Malphite ult, no flash available, and potentially pick up a kill on him, speed up your Ambessa's scaling, get her to that level 6 or that level 11 mark even, and increase the percentage pen that she gets once she levels up the ult a few more times to match the amount of armor that we're going to see stacked for this Malphite.
Right. Great thing to call out and track going forward. I'm glad that Vampire has allowed me to talk about the fact that counting minions for Nico is going to be a lot funnier now. If you're not aware, when a cannon wave comes out, you lose a melee minion now. So you do have to do a little bit more extra math on the Nico check. Don't need to do any math on this. There is the unstoppable shockwave, as we'll call it. That's the Flying Oyster combo now in the LPL, folks. 2 ults, 1 dead mid laner, with Fungway looking for the turn back and a double crash down into the public execution. Vampire is dead, and Junja doesn't have any damage left to trade that out, so both these teams finding ways to kind of scrap back after losing a member.
Much better for TES than last time. At least they managed to get a return kill, and it was off the back of the Ambessa, getting more gold into that pocket. Already picked up the Eclipse, specifically in these early team fights where we would expect JDG to be a bit stronger. Got the Inara, got the Orianna, and particularly this Renekton when it comes to the full-on team fights. JDG should be favoured in these early fights. So if you can snowball Naya, if you can continue to pour gold into that Zambessa, it could give a chance for this person sitting in Kanavi's chair now to kind of make it their own.
He's going to have to, because mid lane is kind of a travesty. I know a lot of hype fan. Oh yeah, give me the cinematic replay. World stage now to Beijing. Hongq and Junja, same old duo. Gotta love it. My point being here is the fans are definitely loving it. Look at that gold difference in the mid lane we got going on here, Callum.
Yes, pretty good. And with only, what is that, 2 plates collected thus far from Hongq, none knocked down from Cream. I think now's probably a good time to talk about this pseudo comeback mechanic of the Crystalline Overgrowth. If there's a kill that comes out of this, I'll be very surprised. The Malphile's up in 2, but yes, okay. Do I have a moment?
Oh, Gala. No, you don't. Transcended Gala, flashing forward after Jachi. One more auto should do it, and that's the Gala we know and love here around the LPL. You give him an inch, he takes a mile.
Very solid stuff, building up a lead, and is now... excellent transition for me, Gala. Go collect some of that Crystalline Overgrowth. It's one of the ways that you can snowball ahead, complete your quest quicker. Go on, take it
Vampire.
away.
Yeah, Pop Blossom on a Fengwei. Hongq should easily pick up that kill. To make, to finish your point there for you, Melvin, it's a lot easier to snowball and run away with the game, and you've seen JDG do that in the last 3 minutes.
Most definitely, and it does mean that now this dragon has a lot more priority.
Oh, there it is again.
He's gone. He's just gone.
Didn't even need the shockwave this time. Just the unstoppable force.
Yeah, we see why teams are valuing this Malphite so highly. It's kind of like Nautilus of... if you could just press R on somebody, it doesn't matter how good they are. If the depth charge hits, the depth charge hits. Like, what can you do? If there's a Malphite in the game, unless you have Flash, and as we saw from Cream, even if you have Flash, if they aim the Malphite ult right, you're gone. There's not much to be done about it. Maybe get a spell shield, but the problem is, when it's a jungler, it kind of ends up being like Vi, if they could just smite away a potential spell shield, as we do get to see this pretty solid, just 2v2 outplay from Gala.
Oh, it's so beautiful. That's what I like to call the business as an AD carry player myself. 2 words to remember. All you need is good clicks. And those were some pretty good clicks.
Got the job done pretty handedly, as we do see now, taking a look up at the top. All of the quests completed, bar Cream and Fengwei, which is, yeah, difficult situation to be in at this point, with no dragon up at the moment to take, just losing even more tower gold. Just to make it a bit easier for people to understand, the towers basically are the same as last year, minus the fact they now have plates. The reason they're distributed in this weird way is it's the exact same, give or take, of how much damage you have to deal to the tower. They just made it health scaling rather than resistance scaling, because normally when you would take a plate last time, it would increase the resistances of the tower, making it harder to take the rest of them. Now, it's just made it a lot more visually clear. It looks a bit weird, but when you realize this is just how it actually
Gala,
works. Oh,
great catch, Nayo, but the cleanse is perfect. Gala gets out of the Jin W. Now they catch Nayo forward, and Vampire finds a two-man Pop Blossom on the backside. Gala transcended, trying to step up, get a couple more of these autos down. But JDG, even when they get jumped on now, find a way to turn the tides.
That's what we want to see from a team with a 5.7k gold lead at 15 minutes. Damn, it's crazy. Damn, it's crazy. And a majority of that on the back of Gala and Hongkyu. And I will say, credit to Vampire there. Really good counter engage to continue the ticket there. Keep forcing the issue. And this is something that I want to harp on. If you get a lead, you need to keep the snowball going. Because...
that was a Cassante. Yeah, that was a simple Orianna combo. And that Cassante, where's the copy-paste Cassante I need? You know what? You're making the point. 6k gold lead. Oh, boy. Yep, 369. Tangle Barb. Juja does not need his big ultimate to throw down onto 369. Oh, man. He goes into all out just to lose some more resistances. Vampire's looking for more. Gets another Tangle Barb down. Shockwave from Hongkyu through. Does he have enough gross damage for Nayo? No, he doesn't. But, man, are they leaving an everlasting image towards Top Esports? This game is slipping out of their hands. Cream having to TP back in just to cover a turret, but that means Gala. Oh my god, that was one empowered Q. This game is getting out of hand rapidly. Quay knows that he's trying to make a snap engage with Cream, but he gets interrupted in the middle of his dash, trying to go after the back line of Hongkyu, but he flashes himself back over the flat wall. Xiaosu joins the party with Dominus popped, and Feng Wei is tarnished and thrown back to the base. This game is going off the rails rapidly, and if you're a JDG fan, this is exactly what you wanted to see out of this new roster.
I think it's so encouraging for JDG fans who, honestly, were probably feeling pretty good after Demacia Cup, but with a middling finals performance, I was not 100% what kind of form we would see them come into the season with. So far, kicking it off in great fashion, but let's temper expectations after we watch this kind of super force from TES. When you're this far behind, it makes sense that you want to keep forcing the ticket, but as we see there, it was Junjia using the ultimate, stopping Cream, get the Emperor's Divide onto 3, forced to use it defensively in the end. Really the turning point of that play. If there was hope for TES to get anything done, it was entirely stopped by a big rock to the face.
And that's going to happen all game long. One thing, we touched on how much of a team fight threat this composition is, but when you're playing a team fight comp, a snap engage comp like this with a gold accelerated, I mean, how much is every brush, every, piece of fog on the map, Callum, just so scary for a top esports team like this?
Tell you what, they're really glad that the Phaelites got introduced, because the two that's just outside the base that gives you preliminary vision into your jungle, pretty much the only way you get to play from this point onwards. As, okay, there was a TP off on the side. Very nice, thank you for the replay. As we do get the Cloud Dragon started up, and look at this, even with this far behind, as predicted, TES right-clicking towards this objective like their lives depend on it, and in the game, it currently does.
Oh boy, 369 is completely ganked wherever he was trying to come from. Flashes away with the all-out. He's used everything he desperately can to escape, but all he finds himself is a black and white screen. Second death of the game, and no more clicking towards that objective. It is easily picked up here by Junja. They might even look here for Cream. Cream, you knew this dragon was going down, and now you're going to feel the new import power of JD Gaming. They're daring him to flash an Emperor's Divide. There's the shimmy shake to get himself out. Junja goes after him with the Vampire. Pop Blossom onto 3. My lord, it's a massacre for JD Gaming, and somehow Nayo's able to escape it. But again, it's just foreshadowing for what the rest of this game should be for JD Gaming.
Oh, the people's elbow straight onto Cream there. Nothing to be done with this Malphite Nico Orianna. It's just too much. This was the first 3 picks from JDG, and they are executing on it swimmingly. As now we see ridiculous amount of shutdowns across the board available for TES to pray they can pick up. I don't see how they're going to do it this far. It's not exactly like if you take a look at the inventories, they are completely filled with damage. We have a Cassante with 2 items. That's,
Yeah. Yeah, we have a full crit building. Jin needs time. Azir needs mega time. At best, I mean, there's not really much of a way to sugarcoat this, right? Like, What? How many run over fights? Oh yeah, Baron. Okay, so how many run over fights do we need before you feel like this game's over, Melvin?
Honestly, I need an ace and a Baron steal here, and then TES are back on the menu. But I don't think that's gonna happen, because the thing about having this Malphite in the jungle is even if he gets his resistance shredded, tanking up the Baron, he could still just go over the wall and press R. Like, you know, what do you do about that? Yeah, like. I don't think TES have a good angle back into the game. It needs to be JDG making pretty colossal mistakes. We did see throughout last year, hold up a minute, is this a fight or is this just posturing?
Let's pretend which one's the real rock. Yeah, that's the even scarier part, right? Is you don't know which one's the one that can fly over a wall. Taking all that space up towards the Bear Pit. That mid-tier 2 turret is soon to fall down. Oh, top lane skirmish. We're throwing down hands, and I would figure Xiaosu is pretty favored in this one, but 369's making it close. The flash stun just to secure it. Xiaosu picks himself up the solo kill to keep the JD train running.
Really nice, considering that was a fight at an item disadvantage for the Renekton, only having the one completed item. Really promising, and it's something that, again, top lane hasn't really been the focus of this game, to use a bit of an understatement, but coming into the series, seeing how Xiaosu performs against 369, who was, to our expectation, the most important member of TES. We didn't get to see them at the Marcia Cup, but 369 is such a big name, such an important factor for this team's success. And let's actually see the full fight of what happened here, because the part that we really clocked onto was that flash outplay at the very end from Xiaosu. But it's just complete confidence on this Crocodile, one of their signature picks. We saw a lot of success on the Zehen, but behind the Jax as well. Renekton, he's sitting there ominously waiting for Crocodile to come out. I wasn't happy to see it in draft, but I'm a lot happier seeing it in game.
Depending on what fan base you're here watching our series, you're about to be a lot happier with this next ultimate combo with some of the items we got coming through here for JDG as they try and set up for this Baron. Top Esports, you got to give up some of this real estate, or you were asking for a whooping coming from Junja and Hongq. Even just so tanky with this build, maximize ultimate damage, but there's Nio flying on the background. Hongq has to go into the stasis. Fengui finds a good angle. The shockwave for Hongq gets him out, and oh my god, Gala just deletes Cream. Yep, it's Gala here to the rescue with tons of damage. And the look to try and chase down a Nio that is way out of his comfort zone, trying to steal camps away. Hongq will just zone him. JD Gaming onto the Baron for now. Top Esports, desperation is the name of their game. Try and find some way into this pit. Try and find some way to stem the bleeding, and maybe it's going after Hongq, who's casually going for the 1v1 against Nio, but Nio looking to throw hands back. It doesn't matter. Hongq is just better. JD Gaming secure the Baron. Jhachi is jumped on by a Crocodile looking to chase him down. Vampire doesn't even expire. It's only 369 who limps away to tell the tale of the Mad Titans, JD Gaming, in this game 1.
That is the Hongq we wanted to see it coming into the LPL. Fancy feating, and the respect, by the way, to be ahead and pick up the Zhonyas. Something I didn't get to set up before the fight, but it was really the reason that that went completely in JDG's favor. TES have the Ambessa to try and force anything. And guess what? They hit onto the Orianna. Should be best case scenario. Nah, stasis. How can play? Gala gets to just right-click everybody down, and then Hongq opting in to take the fight in the 1v1, executing it brilliantly as we see a desperation play. Double TP coming in from the solo lane as a TES on the flank.
Well, they know all those great defensive spells are down for Hongq for now, but he gets right back towards his team, and Top Esports have to very awkwardly walk back up their own lane. Junja, the big tank for JDG, just holding the front line. Vampire poking and prodding with some Tangle Barbs. Cream is getting a lot of time, though, with that lethal tempo stacked up, and Junja's going to respect Flash away here for now. Bringing up that Baron wave. Good call out there, Melvin. They have, oh, yep, Xiaosu just slamming on inhibitor turrets. Well, that really shuts down any possibility of a fight.
Yeah, when you're stuck in this state of wanting to force a play, but
Hongq first, Junja second, Gala third, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. JDG are eating good in this game 1. Gala's got himself the triple. He's picked himself up the quadra. Gala, pentakill debut on JDG, just like that.
This is LPL, everybody. You came, you saw, Gala got you, and now that is going to be a clean first game for JDG. We talked about the high expectations. We talked about what we wanted to see from these players. This is it. Everybody playing at the maximum for JDG, and TES seen 1-3-1 and 4-1 fall off as an objective, but as we hit the rift going into our game 2, I think TES have what it takes here to put together that kind of comp.
We just need some direction, some confidence coming through for some of the players. Even the mainstay ones, especially, you know, Cream, very silent in that game 1. Now on the Silas, like you mentioned, melee Maestro. Junja gonna get spotted on this vertical jungle force, so good ward there. Both junglers are gonna recognize these starts, and this is gonna really shake up our early game, right? We haven't seen too many vertical jungle scenarios in Season 16 yet.
Nothing as of current, but this is really solid because it means that with a split map, the bot lane is just left in isolation, and TES have to play on the back foot, because at any point a Jarvan, from now, he's level 2, you know he's level 2, you saw it, could appear out of the blue and just completely ruin your lane. There is the silver lining that we do have Judgy taking the teleport on the Varus for the poke build, so even if something super aggro happens here, they should be able to get back to lane, actually roaming up to contest the Gromp, but Junja does not actually have smite. It looks like he's going to require his support to come up and pocket the Jarvan to keep him safe there on the Gromp.
Man, these mid laners, though, I mean, we were so antsy last game because now they're trading so low. Now we've got a melee. Cream throw down to Honky, who's going to flash away. Cream definitely showing that frustration and turning into a positive here against Honkyu. Not going to let the new guy push him around in the whole series.
And I'm really glad to see it because...
Oh, boy.
Okay, I'm gonna... Yeah, this is maybe a play, but only if Cream forces the ticket again. The thing is with this Silas, as we have now seen from level 3, he can just go constantly onto Honkyu and force that Aurora to have to use the abilities to run away. Mitigates a lot of that damage and gives a lot more breathing room, particularly to enable his jungler to right now continue the split map, and because we had Junja going mid and trying to hover for Honkyu, it means that there is a slightly accelerated clear for Naya, who really does not want to do anything on this Vi until level 6, unless it is absolutely the freest gank of their life. Maybe that might show up top lane here, but unlikely.
Oh, Vampire, he's going in for the alley sec right there, and Jachi's going to have to flash himself back out. The stun comes across. Oh my god, they still nearly picked up the kill there. Oh, Scott of Duck, Cream goes under turn onto Honkyu, gets first blood easily. Junja gonna be here, flash for flash, and Nayo's here to cover. Flashes around top of Junja, doesn't have his flash anymore. Cream, don't think he can dash himself back in, but good cover to make sure there's no trade there. Just like game 1, top esports strike first.
And the question is, will they immediately drop that lead like we saw in game 1? It appears to not be the case. Going to back off, nice. That is what we want to see. Because last year, if there is one thing I, as the newbie to the broadcast, was made very aware, Top Esports was a terrifying team in the early game. They would be able to build up leads against the best of the best, and Cream was no small part of that, particularly rocking these melee mids and being able to flex that early aggressive play.
Just what the doctor ordered after that game 1. Get the bad taste out of the mouth for Top Esports. We also had some fighting over Scuttle Crabs. Smite secure there for Nayo, so nothing to be had on that end. And we enter that awkward stage where both junglers try and see if they could wrestle back their normal clear cycles, but Junja still want to get that one back up. I mean, it's just a revolving door with these trades here. Cream into Honkyu. Still kind of brash, willing to trade back and forth. Junja, man, this is not your Gromp. This is not your... Okay, it's your Gromp. It's your Gromp. Yep, flag and drag smite. But is it your life that you have to pay with it? Absolutely. I can't... He's a madman. You take that flag and drag knowing you have no flash?
No flash and only one of your laners nearby. Listen, as a jungler, Gromp does something to a man. That's all I'm saying. Like, you have the smite button, and you can see, like, there's something that is just not correct in junglers' brains, that when you see a Gromp about 700 HP and you know you can do an ability and secure it with smite, you just kind of have to do it, you know? Like, it's a thing.
Just get
I
possessed,
don't know.
huh? It's just a
Yeah,
possession thing, yeah.
it is the ghost of Gromp possesses you and forces you to go in under all and utter logic being disregarded. Yes.
You know, if there were like one monster camp that consistently has people flashing or like giving their life to sacrifice, Riot should add like a passive that does nothing. It'd be like Ghost of Gromp forces enemy jungle to die for the gold. That'd be so funny. Maybe they should do that on April Fools. That'd be a good way. Or
Can we replace
April
Baron
Fools.
with Gromp? Because that is truly the ultimate objective for pro play. Teams will throw leads at all costs at Gromp.
Oh my god, that's a hilarious idea. That's exactly... Cal, we got to get this to Riot ASAP. They should swap... they should swap all the objectives around on April Fools. Like, imagine Raptors is all elemental dragons, but they're like tiny. That'd be so
Well,
funny.
on the side of the larger dragons, we do have a pre-6 engagement around this dragon. There's a Varus for the steal or the secure potential. As I use the keywords, just a straight smite fight.
Well, he's gonna flash right on top of Guja, trying to get him out of the pit. Secure goes over to Cream here. Hongyu does have ultimate. There's the hijack ultimate back from Cream. He's gonna dash right on top of Vampire's very low. Gala trying to find the trade, gonna cleanse the first stun. Jachi trying to get some of these autos down, but Hongyu has more than enough in the tank to find that kill. Boy, do we get skirmish scrappy. It's the Drake secured for top esports. And we trade, I believe, even 2-2 on kills. Maybe a slight win for JDG in that department.
I'm pretty sure that it's I would say it's even, honestly, looking at like TS with the Infernal Dragon and so many damage threats on the team. I think if you'd lost an extra member, then definitely JDG favored. I would say that you could argue both teams are happy with that in net, particularly because in this season we've seen how important it is to get ahead on the Dragons, because these objectives, I mean, there were a lot of objective fights last game despite how far behind TES were. Oh, hold on, this should be a freebie.
Jachi, yeah. Flash, Cataclysm follow. There's the team fight ultimates. They're up, and JDG feeling a lot more brash with their engages.
I'm pretty sure that Jiachi's flash was exactly up and then exactly burnt off cooldown, as we do get to see this actual secure here from Cream, of all people, comboing to just auto-attack the smite, auto-attack after the jungler's smite to secure it. And I love this little Aurora steal to get to complete safety on the other side, forces Vampire out. Unfortunately for TES, as mentioned, ADC sacrificed, but at the end of the day, securing that first dragon and being able to get back into lanes. It could be worse. Does mean, however, that you're going to be quite stifled on the quest department. Remember that the kills and assistant takedowns and that kind of thing feed into your quest progress. So not only missing out on the CS, the fact that there's not been a plate secured right now, it's just going to be really troublesome for Jiachi to get back into this against Vampire and Gala, who are forcing a fight.
No cleanse. Gala oversteps, flashes. Get enough distance away from Jachi, who doesn't have enough damage to find that kill, but gotta pay a little bit more respect if you're Gala. We've seen this time and time again that he can overextend for some of these trades that doesn't really need to be over-indexing for.
This sleeper might be the most important objective of the game currently being taken by TES. You have a Yorick in the game. You have a Silas, who is going to be a side lane monster. If they get all three grubs, which it looks like they will.
Honky dashing forward, Cream wanted that, but doesn't look to re-engage. The big win here, right? I don't even care about those ults dropped. Eloquently pointed out by you, Callum. Grubs secured for Yorick. That is huge for this, again, style that top esports are going to go for, where we're just going to make sure that the team fight comp can never really feel comfortable ever 5v5ing, because there are no 5v5s.
And that is definitely a winning strategy if it can be pulled off. Unfortunately, the most important part when you're doing a 4-1 split push comp, or even a 1-3-1, is that 3 or 4 members, the bot laner, the support, the jungler, don't get picked off. And so it is going to be really a counter statement from the TES bot lane to try and come back into this game after being put at a bit of a deficit, not the largest one, but it is just going to be so important to see if they can drag their way back in as the game continues.
We're 369 though, doing a really good job winning some of these positive trades into the Rumble matchup. Get some good push, can't get rid of those crystalline markings to grab himself some more gold, but still up at CS over Siasu, forcing him to ult waves constantly. We're still waiting for JDG to kind of heat up this playmaking. Another comp where all the ultimates matter. We might see one of them now. Junja holding on to it. Cream steals away the Unbreakable Will. That is a very hard Silas to deal with. Cream still has flash over the wall. Oh, Junja, that flash. Yep, that's a welcome to the LPL moment if I've ever seen one. Ooh, slow into the bullet time. Not enough damage for Jacci to drop. He does have to trade his own ultimate back. We're fighting all over the map right now.
A lot of skirmishing, as we do have the TP coming out from Cream to rejoin. Chex notes this is a Scuttle Crab team fight that we just had, because no Rift Herald up right now, Dragon not up for 30 seconds. It does mean, though, and this is something that I think the LPL was way ahead of the schedule for. No, not gonna die. Nice, I have a few more seconds. By forcing fights before objectives and blowing important cooldowns like Varus Ultimate, like Silas Flash and TP, now JDG are in a more favourable position to start the fight from the get-go. They have managed to use that pressure, build Cryo, kill Jacci.
He knew that they were waiting for him, and he's still gonna die right next to his tier 2 turret. The life of an AD carry.
And convert beautifully into a dragon. There we go. Nice little example in
right
practice.
Into your point.
You know, I love it when a plan comes together, as I think JDG are very much following that philosophy right now. Nio, though, wants to get in here and wants to try and steal away to keep the dragon stacking going.
Okay, I mean, there's the hijack between worlds. Junjo's going to have to bail out of the pit here. A lot of respect from JDG. I like to see that sort of resolve, though. Without the Cataclysm, the Jarvan is very bare bones. So that dragon stacking for top esports is going to be apparent. And back to the point we made about the split push, the 4-1. Getting these early dragons is huge, because those are less big objectives that you're going to have to bring all 5 members to now.
Exactly. That was the reason that bringing in the soul as a mechanic kind of killed split pushing, really, in pro play, because you needed to have as many people there around those Dragon Soul point team fights. If you don't feel that pressure, which TES cannot lose soul in the next 20 minutes, because, you know, that's just how long dragons take to spawn. So, feeling quite good about getting 369 this time to scale, get some extra damage in the kit. Already got the Maw. Want to see what happens at Hexdrinker going into the Maw, even. Considering you're against double AP solo laners, it means quite easy itemization for this Yorick to win the side lane.
Hijack between worlds. Round of Ducks, full engage on the Honkyu. As Nayo engages Vampire off the side. Bigway wins the party, but Xenoblade doesn't lane. He's going to flash with the stun into the solar flare. Blakeway looking to make the plays, and with a cease and desist, it's more than enough. Love that snap engage from the rookie top esports support.
Exactly what we wanted from them. More aggression, more of that top esports signature, the identity that they had throughout last year of being able to get this early lead and give Cream more of those resources. Completed the mid lane quest as we pan on up now to the top lane. No Vi ult, no Leona ult, but Xiao Zhu still in a pretty dire situation.
Goodbye, sweet Xiao Zhu. Someone's going to TP to cover your wave, brother. Hopefully he just has to cover your... Oh, good trade there. Anyway, takes up too much of the turret there, and that gives Gala... I mean, this is the real win, right? On the other side of the map, Gala has been chilling in this bottom lane. So accelerated. Look at the quest, too, right? Way ahead on that one, because Jacci's been forced way out of bottom lane. And this is a big thing to talk about for not just split pushing, but lane swapping, Callum. How those quests really are supposed to hold you in lane. I wonder how far Jacci's actually behind. He's been out of bottom lane for so long.
And the thing is, Riot removed the lane swap detective mechanic that came in last year as kind of a really ham-fisted solution to teams constantly lane swapping, deciding to change from the using the stick to the honey this time around, and it has worked pretty elegantly so far, with teams wanting to stick in lanes because of the extra resources. And bot lane, probably the worst one to not have completed the quest because it is multiplicative. When you finish this bot lane quest, it's 2 extra gold on every single minion, extra gold for doing basically everything you would normally be doing kill-wise, and you just get a 300 gold payout upon doing so, along with that extra item slot for boots, which when you're Lethality Varus and could just stack long swords into oblivion, it's really important. We have junglers posturing around bot. Don't know if anything's going to happen here, but let's see.
Ballbreaker's cancel from Nayo. You have to try and get back out. Knows he's re-engaging Junja, but he brings Cataclysm down. Takeaways here. Solar Flare's going to land. There's the Velvet Carpet coming across, but Nayo gets out of it. Xiaosu's damage does not hit the primary target, so Junja has to flag and drag himself, sacrifice himself to take out the enemy jungler. He's going to flash away from Chachi's piercing arrow, force the Chains of Corruption. He flag and drags further. We're just playing the stall game here, Junja. This is mental warfare right here in the LPL, folks. Chachi, you better hit your Q. All right, he does. But it took a lot more effort than I think Chachi thought he'd have to give.
There was a very slim angle where if that Q doesn't hit, then Jarvan's over the wall and suddenly can walk away to safety, but not going to get away with it. Pretty even trades all in all. A lot of ultimates once again. Flashes as well being blown. Look at the timer. We got Dragon in a minute. Both of these teams want to get this next one. If TES secures Soul Point this early on, not only do they have the Yorick split push win condition, but they have the inevitability of if you ever sack a dragon to try and shut down 369 on the side lane, you just lose Ocean Soul, and I think at that point, it's curtains. If we expect long drawn-out team fights because the burst on both of these teams is a bit here or there, Ocean Soul kind of seals the deal, as this was just really nicely initiated from JDG, but we see the flash out of the Cataclysm that bought a lot of extra time and allowed for the TP to come in and allowed for that return kill to happen in the first place.
Yeah, you know, Fengwei, really good job kind of covering with that Solar Flare, right? To buffer just long enough to get the Vi out. As you spoke on, Callum, how is this going to impact this big objective fight? Let's take stock of any items that show up that are kind of big, and ultimates that are finally going to come online. Is the Dragon is here, and Top Esports have the inside track towards.
Just trading right now. Nothing super severe, but we do have
Gala
Cryo in the mid lane. Gala secured that one.
All right, so we're looking at that
Just half
Cataclysm.
HP.
Bullet time combo. Vampire's going in. There's the bullet time. Nayo is eviscerated. Great catch for Vampire. Fengwei's going to be caught as well. Just like that, JDG stack up as 5, as strong as they can be. They make a clutch couple of kills.
Very important. This will pretty much bring the tempo back into JDG's favor. And the thing is, Xiaoshu, once again, doing a very good job quietly in the side lane. The fact that Yorick hasn't killed a tower yet is crazy. 3 grubs in the pocket as well, and he is just being denied every single chance to right-click a tower. As soon as he's left alone with it, just the crystalline overgrowth on its own is going to be enough to take out the tower, regardless of who it is. So, I will say JDG doing a pretty solid job to keep themselves alive in this game.
Okay, hijacks between worlds. Hongqiu has the turret to try and help him out, but Green feels healthy enough to just dive under it. How many turret shots he's going to take? He eats about 3 of them. Flashes out with style. Oh, and the BM as well. Cream 5-0. And there's Xiaosu losing access to his turret as well. The push and pull this game too is prevalent. Top Esports will not go quietly to the broom of JDG in this series.
Very happy to see the life in TES off the get-go, and that is actually one of the instances where having the Baron recall, part of the mid lane quest, you get a 5-minute cooldown. Baron recall goes down by 1 minute each time you get a takedown, makes the difference. Green quite snowballed ahead now, already at 2 full items, upgraded shoes, and 9 Dark Seal stacks, as we pan all the way back to this dragon. And yeah, it's just another really quick engage coming out from JDG, leveraging that bullet time. Gala, not as loud as he was last game with the penta-killing Yanara, but at the end of the day, getting plenty done. Cream, however, a nice contrast from, I mean, politely getting blasted by Hongqiu all of last game. Now we get to see him on something that he is, I'm not going to say more comfortable on, but definitely more his signature.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. And with the Rift Maker involved with the Unbreakable Will Steal, Cream plays such a pseudo tank role in all these fights going forward.
And that's really important, because when you're fighting, often 4v4, you do need somebody who can stand in the front, because now it looks like one of those frontliners is getting jumped.
Well, Nayo didn't get the Rift Herald because Baron spawned. Fengway's going to re-engage with a bullet time from Gala. Forces one flash out of Nayo. Cream takes all the unbreakable will, but they get rid of the support. Top Esports down a man as they have TPs coming in, but it's just JDG that stack up 5 strong here. Again, when they are all together, JD Gaming will not be broken. This may be a little audacious, though, trying to roll this into a Baron. I mean, I know they don't have Nayo. Junja is very low. Jachi, if he can make some of these piercing arrows work, he's a real big threat. And all the while they're doing this, turrets are dropping in the name of 369. Their health bars just can't afford to make this Baron dance work with those resistances back and their resistance shred that you talked about with the new Baron, Callum.
It's something you gotta keep in mind, and with the hijack about to come up for Cream and unlimitedly delicious choice for him, opting for JDG to back off. It was a really solid initial play, but one of those things that we kind of saw was a bit of an overstay. I'm not 100% that's what Fengway wanted to do, but it is what happened. I truly don't know, but regardless, it ended up playing out quite nicely for JDG Gala with a cool little cleanse at the end there. The Baron Force was something, but not a lot done in return, as now, let's take stock of the game. 369 currently being collapsed on.
Okay, Xiaosu along with the carpet out into the Cataclysm, flashes into the Death Arena that Junja has set up, and they do get rid of 369. I was a bit wary if they had enough damage to get rid of that Yorick health bar, but the pick has been made.
And I think that they did that at such a time where both Equalizer and Cataclysm should be back up before the Dragon, so yeah, finding a very narrow window for JDG to actually snowball ahead, and are going to be greatly rewarded picking up 2 plates for Xiaoxu in this bottom lane. As now, it is set up. TES are definitely considering looking to force a Baron when JDG go towards this next Dragon. So, it is currently a battle of the supports, a battle of using these Fey-like vision zones to try and give yourself as much time as possible to know when you are forced to rotate all the way to the other side of the map.
You're seeing the problem, how the rubber band loses its elasticity when you drop 369. You don't have that side lane threat in order, and that kind of doesn't allow them to do those Baron dances. It's the the good and bad of trying to play this style, is that without that Yorick split push threat, Top Esports really struggle to find anywhere to get footing on the map. So it's why those picks are so valuable on the timers you've talked about. But the timer to look at now, Melvin, is this Dragon spawning as we speak. Junja poking and prodding on a Fengway, or they're just going to look to take out the Leona's health bar in entirety. And guess what? They don't have to expend any of those 5 key ultimates to find that kill.
You can't fight this anymore as TES. Your best situation is fish for a steal, but then you are going to lose the Baron 99% of the time. 369 is going to be able to at least get some damage done. Curious if they're going to shut the Maiden out anytime soon, as Honkyu is looking to try and minimize some of this split pushing, but at the end of the day, there's not a lot Honkyu can really do to the Yorick. You have the MR shoes. If you ever do get caught in a cage, you have to use abilities to get the hell out of there, because otherwise 369 is going to pummel you to death.
Let's get some valuable time, some valuable gold. That top lane quest, just trying to stack these levels. And yeah, I'd like his odds with the main up against Honkyu, but 369, can you just take that reset? No.
I think the ghouls aggroed onto him there.
The ghouls are still going to chase Honkyu down. Who's here first to support? Of course, it's his flying oyster former buddy, Junja, here to make it a 1v2. 1v3, Vampire's here as well. 369 may have actually been the one that got caught in the trap here. It's going to be another kill to Gala. Perfect, exactly where you want the gold. JDG, they are finding their way back into the lead of this game, 1 pick at a time.
And this is exactly where you want to find a kill, forcing Cream to TP in. The threat of a Baron is always there when somebody dies on this half of the map. Honkyu knocking down a bit of this tower, won't get the last hit in, importantly, does give TES a bastion to defend top lane, but oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh, doesn't get the TP off. A good flash to get the cease and desist down there from Nayo. Heads up play to recognize Honkyu's only move is to try and TP out. Bit of desperation there and a bit of a fumble from the JDG new state mid laner. Keep your eyes on the bottom lane though. I do want to point out that Xiaosu is just split pushing. we've role swapped.
We're in the same situation, but the other way around now, because somebody just died in front of Baron. It looks like TES don't have that confidence to force it right now, with Gala doing so much damage.
I mean, he's got 3 items, he's got armor pin on him, but he doesn't expect Cream to jump on top of him. Good cleanse to get out of the Solar Flare.
Oh my.
What a cataclysm in turn there from Junjun Vampire. Gala has been rescued. Cream can't even find the desperation trade. Boom goes the dynamite, and JDG finally break open this game too. It was topsy-turvy. TES had response after response. But this JDG roster has come to play in their LPL debut.
We show up with Teamfight champions, and guess what we're gonna do? Tabe once again sitting comfy in his chair right now, looking at this draft with pride. Expertly executed with so many resources getting chucked onto Gala, but it is not enough to take out the Misfortune, posturing so respectfully against the dive that TES has, but also not far enough away to be useless. Like, this only started because Gala went for the play, using the fancy feat and knowing, guys, Vi doesn't have Flash or ult. We just watched that happen to Honky. And so it gives the extra window. Vampire covering his escape perfectly with that knockup, only for the red carpet to go down. And just an expertly executed team fight from JDG. You know that the mid jungle has synergy, but you would think that this team had played a whole tournament together. Oh wait, they did.
Hey, you asked for it. He's sitting comfy in the chair. Are you a mind reader over there, Cal? I mean, he was poised up in there.
He's chilling.
He is chilling. Definitely after that team fight, JDG explode in the gold department, have all the control of those side waves that are so scary for them to kind of deal with. 369. When you got a York hurting under his own towers, you're doing pretty good in the game.
Yeah. It's something that just goes to say that TES, they're going to struggle to pull this one back out, because teamfight with the Yorick, not exactly what you want to be doing, but it is a necessity now, as we're throwing out abilities just to clear the way.
Yeah, let's just...
I mean, Cream's getting something. He is hitting tower.
I'm shocked that we haven't gotten a full reset through here. It's finally sounds like it's going to come around. So it's a 4v4 for the time being. Drew just got to be a bit careful. He is getting collapsed on alongside Vampire. That might just have to cut loose, let support go, or if Gala has the boomstick, he looks for the turn. It's Junjun, a 1 versus 2 in the Cataclysm. The TP is going to come through in time. Soundsus is first. Cream arrives too little, too late, and the burn of the molten lava. Soundsu, you said he was biding his time, holding down the side lane. Now he's even ready to scrap. And that might just be the red bow on a beautiful start to the season for JD Gaming. It's desperate plays for Cream to try and stall this game out, but just like the last fight, I don't even know if he'll find Gala. Goes golden, but it's inevitable what's gonna happen here. Vengway gonna be the last one to fall. JD Gaming with the perfect statement start. Their first series of the LPL, they're gonna sweep out Top Esports.
In convincing fashion in game 1. Game 2, a lot more close, a bit more punch for punch. We saw the life in TES, but JDG playing like a unit, really getting to see the extra reps that they got to put in as a 5-stack throughout the Marcia Cup. Come in and reward the squad with such good team fighting. Like, the cohesion we saw in that is stuff you would expect to see near playoffs, near the end of a year. Just no notes once again.
And the headline to me, Callum, the hype of the imports, the big names coming into the LPL,